Now, when I'm evaluating this tripod, I'm really comparing it in my mind to this tripod I've been using. This is just an Amazon Basics tripod. The cost is just about exactly the same here. So some functional differences are it does have the kind of video handle, so you can take video and move this thing while you're doing it around. I found it to be a little squeaky. You can hear this thing moving around, so I almost never like pan while I'm recording with this. I'll simply set it to a location and leave it there. So I don't think this is a major improvement over just the ball head, but if you're planning on panning and tilting around while you're taking video, this could be a feature that you really like. The quick release mechanism I think is a little easier. This lever pops out, the quick release thing comes on, you put it back in, you snap it in, the lever kind of halfway goes in, you push it the rest of the way. That's a little bit faster than twisting this thing in and out. I don't think it's going to be major time difference, but it's just a little bit faster there. This guy does have a separate handle, and when you're using that handle, you don't have to worry about your fingers getting pinched if these legs were to close. It also has this tri thing here that keep those legs pushed apart, and the only thing here that's keeping these legs apart is gravity holding down. This guy has a hook, but I wouldn't trust it with much weight. The hook on the bottom of this guy here, let me lower that a little bit, so that hook right there feels a lot better, feels like you could actually put a big bag on that and have it work pretty well. This guy just has the one thing here, but it does have the crank action for raising and lowering it. Personally, I've kind of been annoyed because you always have to loosen this, crank it up, crank it down. You can kind of sometimes pull it up on its own and it will spin, so if I pull on it, sometimes I can make it come out on its own, but usually I have to manually crank it down. So I actually prefer, these knobs here, where you flip that thing, goes down, so you can lower it one-handed just by loosening the knob and letting gravity go. I actually prefer that knob system to the crank system. Now, obviously, there's only two connectors, so the leg sections are longer. You can see the height of this section is actually a little higher than that guy, even though this guy has 4 leg sections. They're just closer together. So this guy doesn't fold down quite as small. That guy definitely wins folding down to the smallest. This guy here is actually a little bit lighter. Its rated camera weight is about half. It's about a 6-pound rated camera weight, and this guy has a 13-pound rated weight. So this guy here is about 2 pounds. This guy over here is a little bit higher than 3 pounds. It's a difference. It's not a big noticeable difference. So they're in the same general class. When you see these guys folded next to each other, obviously this guy is significantly longer. This guy's just slightly bulkier. It's the things don't fold down in as well. So this guy's just a little bit narrower. I can pick the whole thing up, kind of hold it in one hand. This guy I can do that, but I'm not reaching around it. I pretty much have to grab kind of one leg and hold it with one leg there. So diameter-wise, this guy's a bigger diameter. So one thing I kind of dislike about this guy is all the time I spend flipping these out, extending the legs, retracting the legs, and I can't imagine having 3 of them is going to be better than having 2 of them. So I think I'm going to dislike that about both tripods, but this one will have 2 and that one will have 3 things to dislike. This guy has that option for the 3/8" tripod screw underneath here. Can't do anything 3/8 here without some type of an adapter from that 1/4 inch there. So it's not an easy choice between these two. Sometimes I know I'm going to be pointing my camera someplace and want to, do a pan back and forth maybe, or I want to lock in that dimension and I'm planning on doing some type of up and down pan. And I'm sure that's going to be a lot easier to do with this guy than with the ball head. That's really a set it at an angle and fix it. You're not controlling the camera, you're just pointing it there and you're recording something. I do wish they had the same quick release system, because then I could have the same camera and just go back and forth between the 2 tripods, whichever I thought was better for a particular situation. Now, stability-wise, this guy here doesn't have that triangle bracing on the bottom. It doesn't seem to really be an issue at this low height. Might be at a higher height that might become an issue, but I don't think that's going to be a downside not having that. Aesthetically, I like the red-black color scheme a little better than the black-silver color scheme. That's just a personal preference. I think this really comes down to, you know, how interested are you in the ball head versus this head? How about the 3/8" mount? Is that something you're going to make use of? And also, you know, size folding down, this guy's just a little bit longer when it's folded down. So personally, I'm going to be keeping both. I'm going to use this one more and get some experience with it. And then after a month or so, I'll probably be able to make a decision about, hey, is one of these definitely better than the others? But right now, there, you know, seems to be pluses and minuses on both sides, depending on what you're doing with it. I think if you're standing behind the camera, that type of a head's going to be better. If you're in front of the camera and you're just setting it up, I think the ball head's just fine.